Good morning. Oh, I'm having a cup of fermented ginger, lemon, and garlic water with honey. With honey. I know some of you are thinking, what the hell is she drinking? But this is what keeps me strong. This is what cures me. And the garlic is just a slight aftertaste, but it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. What it needs is turmeric, or turmeric, as some people call it. I got some lovely cards in today or yesterday, and it's my fault because I sent cards late, but I finally got these cards, and they're just, oh, I love them. So, Laura and Tony, thank you. You know, and I hope you don't mind. I don't know why I feel like I need to. I guess I should ask permission, because if I'm sending you a card, I'm sending you a gift, and um, but I would love to send Valentine's cards. So those who mail me back, I would love to send out Valentine's cards if you would like. So, oh, I just love this. I love it. Thank you. And I'm not going to show this one because it's a beautiful picture of a family and a child, and I'm not going to show the child's face, but it to remember your first name. And I need to go back in my records and look, but you know who you are. You sent me a postcard type card. You're with your husband and your child, and you are wearing the most gorgeous rustic orange velvet dress. I love it. I just love that dress. It's so vintage to me. It's just got that vintage vibe. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I love this one too. And this is from Brianna, and we are going to be pen pals. And we're going to be pen pals. And she shared some of her journaling. I call them scraps, journal scraps, because I have a whole box of them. And are we getting ready for Valentine's? I'm starting to think about, oh, I love this. So she sent me some great stuff that I can put in my junk journal, you know? So, this I love. So I will, isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Brianna. And then this is from, I think of him as a son. He's just adorable. He has followed me since the very beginning. And I just love this kid. I hope he doesn't, I mean, because I'm older than dirt, so everyone's a kid. Like, if you're 30, you're a kid. Okay, sorry. I had a coworker, and she was in her 30s, and I treated her like a daughter because I could have given birth to her, you know. And so this is just precious. And Noah, I love you. You're adorable. And I would love to send you a Valentine's card. So, thank you for the cards, guys. Thank you for the holiday cards. I have been a wonderful lazy slug. I won't use the word sick. I say I'm getting over some junk, because that's all it is. It's just right here, junk. And I won't let it get into my chest. And I'm a fighter. I do not let stuff go into the chest. When my kids were little, when I told this story to my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they looked at me like I had squirrels coming out of my nose. They were like, "What? That's weird." Um, then I realized, I need to reevaluate my parenting. Maybe there's some things that I shouldn't have a bragging tone to. Maybe I should just state facts and, see how that falls. Because I was just so proud of the fact that I would not let my kids snort their snot. You know what I'm talking about? And that is like the worst. I hear teenagers do it, and I'm like, oh no, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Um, but I don't even want to talk about it. But you snort your snot, you know what that means, and I would not let my children do it. They got reprimanded. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's gross. Spit it up, and I would reteach them how to spit it up. Yeah, I was one of those moms. I wanted to avoid the doctors at all cost. Um, and and yet I mean, Bear is the opposite. Bear, he tells me stories. They would take his daughter to the doctors at the drop of the hat, and I'm thinking, didn't y'all have jobs? I mean, I didn't want to take these kids to the doctors. So I did a lot of home remedies and a lot of teaching the kids how to stay alive. You're not going to, I'm getting nauseous thinking about it. Oh, anyway, moving on. I'm not sick. I won't use the word I'm sick, but I am going to, I do have energy, before, yeah, I had energy, but I chose to nap and watch Columbo. When I say that I am embracing my childhood, that 70s life, it's just, I mean, this is an era that I lived through. Okay. So, I follow an amazing young woman who she's, I guess, a part-time actress. She does reenactments and stuff. I love her to death. She lives in Britain, and she loves to tell the history of the 40s, of World War II era, and the frugality of living in the 40s, and she embraces she embraces that lifestyle. She loves the culture. She loves the clothes, and just the lifestyle that of a whole country digging in and bracing for a storm, and preparing their homes and their mindset to survive. To survive the Blitz is just, I wish she would I need to message her and ask her, would you please do a reenactment, because she does reenactments, of surviving the Blitz, of, in your home, where would you have hidden, not everybody could build an underground shelter, made of tin. But yeah. So I adore her. She didn't live through the 40s, but she had older grandparents, and there was just, she was exposed to vintage things. And I'm assuming that she was, as she got older, she realized, oh, this isn't modern stuff. Oh, okay. And that's kind of how my children grew up. We always had hand-me-downs. Once their father and I divorced, and I will do a video on that, but it was absolute, from whatever was in their bank account to zero. Because as a typical conservative stay-at-home mom, I did not prepare. And so I didn't prepare, but I also had such a fighting spirit that against the advice of others, I was not going to stick around just for the stability of my husband's paycheck. He wasn't an abuser. He wasn't abusive at all. If anyone was abusive, it would be me. I was absolutely angry, very angry at the at things that had happened, that I blamed him for, and I couldn't get out of that anger. I couldn't get out of the fact that I didn't want or love him anymore. And so, I do have, uh, my mother thought it was very privileged to just walk away. When in her mind, she didn't do that. When she stopped loving my dad, she stayed. And I'm thinking, that's just not me. Not going to waste my life. And but we were in absolute poverty, and I had to grow up. I had to survive and make some hard choices on how I'm going to survive, with no skills, and the most I can earn is minimum wage. So what am I doing? And I moved in with my mom, and not at first. I did do it on my own for a while, but eventually I couldn't afford it, and we were like living like peasants. We were washing our clothes in the backyard in Rubbermaid boxes. And I think when my dad and my mom, who were going through a divorce of their own, when they found out, they were like, "What are we gonna do?" You know. And my dad said, "Well, let her move in with you into They were selling their big house, and he said, "And I'll help." Um, so it was on the kindness of my parents that helped me and the kids. And but we're talking, we were just, my mother eventually moved out of the little house, and I know that sounds funny. We moved in with her in the house, and then she moved out to go be with a boyfriend. And nothing was new. Nothing was new. Everything was used. Um, and some of the stuff that I could buy new, like their beds, I remember I bought them bed frames and comforter sets and dressers, from with the income tax return, because here in America we get income tax checks. If you have dependents, and I had 4 of them. Anyway, my kids grew up with old-fashioned toys. They grew up with home remedies. They grew up with thrift store stuff. They grew up with Goodwill clothes, and it just didn't, they didn't know any better. And then here's another thing about my kids that kind of protected them from being made fun of, is that they were homeschooled. And they were homeschooled, and that was that. So they were being sheltered from stupidity. But when they went into middle school, apparently they weren't very sheltered. They tell me that the kids were just jerks. And, I said, "How did you handle that?" And Evan, my oldest son was just he's 6'4". Not many people wanted to mess with him. And Max was just charming. So he had his Mexican friends that were that's the thing about Mexican privilege, which a lot of people don't understand, is that um, when you are poor and you're going to a tough school, and the demographic is, a majority are Mexicans, and you're passing as Mexican, you're going to live a good life. You're going to be protected and happy. And he loved middle school and high school. He loved it. He fit right in. Um, but yeah, they grew up understanding that we are not rich. And I'll never forget my daughter telling me, Um, if you hadn't left Dad, we'd be rich right now. And I said, oh, you think that, don't you? And I said, yeah, I mean, we're only poor because he left us, even though I'm the one that initiated the separation. I said, let's get some stuff straight. We're poor right now because I didn't prepare. Do you understand? I didn't get my ducks in a row. I didn't go to college. I thought this would last forever. And even if you grow up to be a big romantic where you don't think, I'm never going to leave this person, I love this person. And by the way, the chances are higher. I would think, I know that the chances are higher that they would have, that my children would end up in divorced relationships. But I don't see it that way, because my kids are more reluctant to get into serious relationships. And when they're in them, they take them seriously because they have endured a life with divorced parents. So I think that they work harder in their relationships, but I don't have any studies to back that up. But I told her, what if your father had died? What if your father had been injured? We would still be in the same boat. If you are banking on a man to keep you out of poverty, then you're looking at it all wrong. You're going to keep yourself out of poverty. And this is when she made this comment before I decided to go to college. And then as they watched, oh, this, woman that we love, who, we weren't sure how she was gonna take care of us. She's working a full-time job, and she's going to college full-time, and she's raising us heathens. And it changed our relationship. It helped our relationship. And it also taught my girls, my daughters, I mean, my boys will tell you that they were so impacted by me going to college that it just totally changed their lives, and how they saw me. But my girls, they knew, okay, then I'm in charge of my destiny, and whatever I choose to do, whether it's go to college or get a job, that's on me. My girls are workers, and they have a work ethic like you would not believe. And they're going to be fine if something happens, but they are protecting themselves. I know their hearts, and I know their minds. And they did not finish college. They went and started families. And I love them for that. That's fine. That's their choice. But they know, okay, I know what to do. If shit hits the fan, I'm going to go to college. And actually, one of them, the youngest, is already making plans to go back to college, So they both have little babies, so they have to wait until, I guess, kindergarten years and then do that, because I didn't go back to college until they were in high school. So, yeah. So anyway, this is our little chat today. Hold on. So yeah. Anyway, I'm living that 70s life because it's a life I've lived, and I love it, and I embrace it. And so it's just part of my life. It's not planned or anything. I don't reenact that I live in the 70s. I just want things that made me feel happiest. When I was building a life for my children, it was all about survival. It was all about survival and fear and anxiety. And I made a home that I could grab, and that was available to me, when it came to anything. Toys, food, clothes, holidays, anything. I just was, let's survive. But my homes have always been homey. I've always had good comfort food in the kitchen, and always a pot of coffee going. But now that it's just me and Bear, we're purposely decorating our home in a certain way. And Bear is half Pueblo Indian and half Irish. So he has a taste and he has his way of decorating, and we're incorporating that into my love of all things vintage. And I have my 70s kitchen, and it's just mid-century modern. And I love the crockery, I love the dishes, the casseroles, the knickknacks, the furniture. And so, yeah, I mean, that's where we're going. We've we're just going into replacing pieces that we bought because we needed something to hold up our TV and our stereo and what have you, to hold my china temporarily. And so now we're conscientiously looking into some really good solid wood pieces. We have to be careful about cheap furniture here in Amarillo because apparently they have bed bugs up here. I guess bed bugs are everywhere, but my coworkers were telling me do not get particle board stuff. Do not buy used particle board stuff, like IKEA stuff. Bed bugs get into that material unless it's really well treated, and I don't want to risk it. So you have to be very careful about used furniture here. But solid wood china cabinets, that's what I'm looking into. And a credenza. So I have two pieces that I got on Amazon, some cheapy rinky dink, put together stuff. That would look great in a hallway or whatever. They serve their purpose. I needed something cheap, and I needed something to hold stuff that built-ins used to hold, because in the house that we lived in, that the kids were raised in, we had built-in shelves. We had a lot of space. And we also had a china cabinet, not really a china cabinet, it was a hutch, that was a secondhand, and it was given to me by my mom, but we did not take it with us. I want to say, I don't know who we gave it to. I don't remember who we gave it to, but it's not something we wanted to move into the apartment. There just was no room. This apartment, we want a china cabinet for storage, and it'll work in this apartment. It fits. We have a 3-bedroom, and we absolutely love it. 3 bedrooms with no guest room. If you want to be a guest here, we got a beautiful couch, big comfy couch, and it's a sectional with a chase lounge, so you have 3 sections to figure out where you want to lay on. My 6'4" son said it was very comfortable for him. My son-in-law and my daughter don't think it's that comfortable, but yeah, because the other 2 bedrooms are me and Bear's. I have my art and my craft room, and Bear has his room where he tinkers, and that's where he's going to be working. He's going to be working online, and that's his private place where he can sit at a desk, and it overlooks the courtyard. It's really nice for him. So, and I forgot if he's taking incoming or outgoing phone calls. I forgot what it is that he's working, the job that he's trying to get, but yeah, and that's where he has his boot collection, and he putters in there, and he's got his things in there, because our living room was being crowded with our things, our little collections, and yeah, that wasn't working out for us. And so we have our rooms, and that's where we go. We put our stuff, and our living room is well, okay. I say that, and I have all my crocheting stuff because I'm already working. I'm already starting for next year. So there it is. I'm going to start crocheting. But right now I'm working on fingerless gloves for me. I bought some gloves so I could just chop off the fingers. But I'm going to keep them intact in case it's a really bad snow day. But, oh, this is so good. And I want to show this to you before you go. You got to see this. I was working on this like 2 years ago, and then I got sick, and I forgot about it. And so it is, obviously it's a teapot. I haven't, this is like, I'm opening this now, and I'm looking at my camera. I forgot what I drew on it. And then I will treat it with, with epoxy. So this is the lid. And this is the little mouse house in the teapot. They live in the teapot. And there's little mice in there. So I need to paint the outside of the teapot. And this is a teapot. I painted this. And I use permanent markers. Yeah, I use permanent markers. So it's just absolutely beautiful. Oh. I hear my coffee ready. So I always have my lemon honey water, and then I'll have some coffee. But yeah, I need to finish this. This is my teapot. And I'm thinking I'm going to make it look, with windows and a door. I think that's what I'm going to do. With flowers and a trellis and just very whimsical. And yeah. There we go. That's my little teapot. Isn't it cute? So anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Just thought I'd chat with you. I'm working on some videos that I will be posting. And yeah, so I have my energy today, extra energy, and I'm choosing not to lay on the couch and watch Columbo today. Or McMillan and Wife. How many of y'all remember those TV shows? You can watch McMillan and Wife here on YouTube. I found a bunch of episodes. Columbo we own. We bought the set of Columbo. But, I'm probably going to watch Murder, She Wrote in my art room. So I'll just get my little iPad, set up Murder, She Wrote, and work on my junk journal. Because I got to get busy on that junk journal. And the junk journal for me is a photo album. I treat it like a photo album memory book of Christmas 2025. So that's what I should be working on today. It's my break. I can do whatever I want. It's New Year's Eve, so I am going to get a pot of spaghetti going, spaghetti sauce, because the longer I cook it, the less it talks to me in the middle of the night. Yes, I have heartburn. Oh, so yeah, that's why I simmer it all day, just to, yeah. Anyway, y'all have a great New Year's Eve, and I hope you've made some realistic goals. That if you do them, you do them, and if you don't, you don't. No big deal. Oh, by the way, this is my 80s mug that I made. It's heavy on the epoxy. I went a little nuts on the epoxy. But yeah, it's got all my things. On my red chief pad. Flo. Holly Hobby, she's my girl. Skates. Yeah. Just love this. So, y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Mwah.